Together, the soldiers, the captain of the 1,000, and the officers seized Jesus, tied him up, and led him away to Annas first, since he was father-in-law to Caiaphas, that year's high priest. Caiaphas, you see, was the one who had counseled the Jews, better that one man should die than the entire nation. The high priest then examined Jesus with regard to his students and his teaching. "I spoke plainly and openly before the world," Jesus answered. "I was forever in the synagogue and the temple, speaking where the Jews perpetually convene. I never spoke anything in secret, so why are you interrogating me? Why not ask the ones who heard me teach what I said?" And when he heard this, one of the officers standing nearby struck Jesus and shouted, "Is this the way you answer the high priest?" "If I spoke amiss," Jesus replied, "kindly tell me where I misspoke. But if I spoke the truth, how can you justify hitting me?" So Annas forwarded him to Caiaphas, the high priest. Those arresting Jesus seized him and led him away, still bound, into the house of the high priest Caiaphas, where all of the chief priests, teachers of the law, and elders had gathered together. The high-ranking priests and the entire Sanhedrin were looking for false testimony to use against Jesus in order to bring about his execution. But even though many pretenders stepped up and put forth false statements about him, they were unable to produce any. Their stories, you see, did not agree with one another. Then at last, two rose to their feet, came forward, and hurled this false accusation against him. "Both of us heard him say, 'I can and will destroy this temple that was built through manual labor, and in 3 days raise up in its place one not made with the hands of men.'" But even the testimonies of these two were not in perfect accord. Then the high priest stood up in the sight of all and examined Jesus. "Are you not going to respond? What can all of these things that these men have testified against you possibly mean? What are you trying to prove by not answering? What are you repudiating anyway? What is this new doctrine they claim that you teach? What is this brand new message that you are preaching? Explain it to us, and we will listen." But Jesus held his peace and gave no response. Once again the high priest examined him. "I order you to swear by the living God. Tell us plainly, are you the Messiah, the Son of the Holy God?" "Indeed I am," answered Jesus. "This is what you say yourselves. And to all of you I say that one day you are going to see the Son of Man coming from the sky on clouds, seated to the right hand of power." Then the high priest ripped his clothing. "His words are blasphemous," he said. Then he asked, "What need have we of further witnesses? Listen up. Now that you have heard his blasphemy, are you ready to render your verdict?" "He ought to be put to death," they all replied. So each of them passed sentence against him as one deserving the death penalty. Then some of the men guarding Jesus started taunting him. They blindfolded him, spit into his face, beat him, and punched him with their fists. Still others slapped him and demanded, "Hey, Christ, why not prophesy to us? Which of us punched you?" Then the officers took him and drubbed him.